My 17-year-old son, Gavin Guffey, to a crime known as sextortion.
Gavin was a 17-year-old that had just graduated high school. Music, video games, art was his biggest passion. Gavin was on the video game playing with his friends from midnight. Gavin got off the game, told his friends he was going to talk to this girl that had been messaging. They got into a private chat. I guess soon started immediately sharing images back and forth. He got off the game with his friends at midnight about 1:40. He had taken his life. I heard whistling with the bubble ball, the shells just scratching the chips. I immediately ran to the bathroom. Gavin, no response. I kicked in the door. I grabbed him, trying to stop the bleeding. I could feel the life draining out of him. Yelled for my wife to call 911. And about that time, I could smell the gunpowder and I could see the pistol laying off to the side.
Maltax is tapping into a TurboTax expert in credit card. You can get your refund up to 5 days faster. And billions your way to money. Now this is taxes.
I had never heard of sextortion until it happened at home, but I've done a lot of research since then. What I'm finding is that there are actual groups that pretend to be a female or male to target our teens. They convince them that they are interested in them sexually, and they start to share videos, or pictures back and forth. As soon as the extortionists get a photo or a video, their only goal is to get the money. We were able to have the person responsible for messaging Adam extradited from Lagos, Nigeria, and brought back to the United States. But they say federal magistrate, Mr. Lawal, was brought to the courtroom and walked in. That was the first time that we were able to lay eyes on him. The amount of rage that builds up whenever you see the person responsible for your child's death can't be explained.
Hey, you free?
Yeah, as soon as I finish my taxes.
Oh,
Yeah.
should be simple. Actually, you got a really big refund.
A roller coaster of emotions between happiness, sadness, anger. Everyone in the United States is innocent until proven guilty, and the defendant will have his day in court. The first charge out of 5 was a mandatory minimum of 30 years in prison up to life in prison. Combined with the additional charges, I am fairly certain that Mr. Law will not be able to harm anyone else in the United States or anywhere else across the globe for a very, very long time. Since Gavin's death, we started the Less Than Three Foundation. Less Than Three was the symbol that Gavin sent out before he took his life. It's like a heart via text. It also links back to that suicide rate of being less than 30 minutes if there's a gun involved. So I travel around talking to students, parents, law enforcement, anyone that will listen, and try to share the message of tomorrow needs you. As far as preventing sextortion in similar cases such as this, everyone is always going to tell you, do not send pictures to someone that you don't know.
My husband and I adopted his ex-wife's baby after she unfortunately passed away. I wasn't looking at this as, oh, that's my ex-wife's child. I just love this child so much, and I would do anything for him. I have 5 children. Megan, who is 22. We have Vance, who is 16. Austin, who is 15. Dakota is 11, and Levi is 3. My husband was married to Levi's mother for a few years. They had 2 children together, which are Austin and Dakota. None of us knew that she was pregnant. Nobody had seen her in well over a year. And a few days later, we ended up getting the dreaded that she ended up suffering a stroke, and she passed away 5 days after giving birth to Levi. So the first time I actually saw Levi was through a picture that the kid's biological aunt had sent us. Even before I met him, I knew that we wanted to take him in and make sure he stayed with his siblings. We obviously felt like we wanted to keep him because we knew that he would most likely end up into foster care. From the age of 14 to 18, I was also in foster care. I experienced a lot of trauma and swore I'd never revisit the system again. I felt like I knew what he could possibly go through if I allowed him to go through the system. Now, not all foster homes are bad. I didn't want to run that risk of putting any trauma on a little child that didn't deserve any of this. I was with Levi from, I think, 9 days old, and he was 17 months old before we adopted him. So when we sold our home and we moved to Texas, we had to do background checks. I think we ended up taking almost 80 hours of classes. And then you also have 3 different caseworkers that do monthly checks. So it was a lot. It was hard. And I remember there was times I would break down and cry, but I also thought, I just love this child so much, and I would do anything for him.
Awkward.
He's 3 now, so currently he is the boss of the house. But he's so vibrant. He's very loving. He loves monster trucks. Levi gets along really well with the sibling. He doesn't know any different. Like Dakota, she is kind of the other mom. Austin is kind of just the playful, fun one. The house has a lot more energy. I think just like the rest of us, they just can't imagine life without him. It doesn't even feel like, that's your kid or that's.
Hey, we need to talk about your finances.
My finances are fine. With Dash Pass, I saved $6 on my grocery order.
My kid. It's just all of our kids. What I hope that people take away from our story is compassion can go a long way. There's so many kids that are broken that really need somebody to make a difference in their life. There's so many programs that can help you, but you can make a difference in a child's life for sure.
Excuse me, sir. Hello, I'm Officer Cotto with Whitehall. Okay, I'm going to need to detain you for a second. You're going to be detained under investigation. Do not do that. Do not do that. Well, do not do that. I'm not going to do that. I will ask the I'm going to detain you first. I will want to see about it. I would rather you try to leave here. I would think please.
So when I'm feeling right now, it's not like that. Wait, so when I'm feeling here's how you make a little kid time something.
Sabrina's 3-pointers. How to perfect the cut.
So you got your B cut. Then you got the L. Just simple things.
And children